Hello students, welcome to another important session of this three-dimensional geometry. From here onwards, this is very important. So let's understand, or we will be learning various forms of equation of a line in space. In the first PUC, in the 11th standard, you have studied various forms of straight line, equations of straight line in two-dimensional, and few of them are here. Point and slope form, that is y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1, and 2-point form, the line passing through 2 points x1 y1 and x2 y2 is given by this. So slope and intercept form is this. So like this you have studied almost 6 forms there. So likewise we will be dealing with equation of a line in space in various forms, and you will be studying 2 forms. So before moving on to that, you need to know some of the basic concepts of vectors. Without the knowledge of vectors, understanding this three-dimensional geometry is very tough. So better you go through the vectors chapter that I have done in detail, and whatever the basic things required I will try to explain here. So whatever the basic required for the next topic, so here are the things. So first of all, you must know what are collinear vectors. So if you know this, you can prove 2 important theorems from the point of examination very easily. So let's understand once again what are collinear vectors. So if 2 or more vectors are parallel to some other line or the same line, then they are called collinear vectors. Okay, look at this. These two vectors, vector A and vector B. Looking at this, you can say that they are along the same direction and they are parallel to each other, or they are parallel to some third line. So such vectors are called collinear vectors. Sometimes they used to be on the same line. So in such case also you can say that they are collinear vectors. So when the two vectors will be collinear, and one important thing to be noted, if 2 or more vectors are collinear, then one vector can be expressed in terms of other. Look at this. So here is a one vector B and another vector A. Clearly you can see that vector A is larger than vector B, or you can also say that vector A is 2 times vector B, or vector A is 3 times vector B, or you can say that vector B is less than vector A, or you can say that vector B is half of vector A, vector B is 1/4 of vector A. So like this, whenever two vectors are collinear, then you can express one vector in terms of another vector. So if A vector and B vector are collinear, then you can write vector A is equal to lambda times vector B. So lambda is some real number. It is positive if vector A and B are along the same direction, and lambda is negative if they are in opposite direction. So very important. Whenever you find this, one vector is a multiple of another vector, then immediately you can conclude, or you can say that they are collinear vectors. So this thing to be noted. So we will be using this in the next 2 theorems. Okay. Here also, looking at this, here there are 2 vectors. One is vector AB and another is vector AP. Vector AP is on the vector AB. Means they are on the same line, you can say. So in such case also you can say that vector AP is equal to lambda times vector AB. So here AP is what? It's maybe shorter than AB. It can be half of AB. So lambda can be half. Oh, okay. So in this way, if two vectors are on the same line, or if they are collinear, then also you can express one vector in terms of another vector. So this will be using in second theorem, or second type of the proof. Okay. So let's study how the vectors can be added. So as I mentioned in the vector algebra, two vectors can be added if they are taken in the order. So means here if AB and BC means the vector BC is starting from the end of the vector AB. So in such case you can add them. So vector AB plus vector BC is equal to vector AC. So what actually it is practically means, see here, if a boy is moving from A towards point B, so he moves from A to B. It is his first displacement, and after that he moves in this direction and reaches the point C. So it is his second displacement. So the net displacement of the boy is this. Okay, so the distance between initial position and final position is called the displacement. So this is the displacement. So this AC is nothing but it is the sum of the two displacements AB and BC. So you can write it as vector AC is equal to vector AB plus vector BC. So in this way you can add two vectors. So the vectors can be added, two vectors can be added if they are taken in order. Means look at this. The end of the first vector must be the starting point of the second vector. So in such way you can add the vectors and their resultant, their sum is vector AC. So this plays again an important role in this chapter. Now see here, we'll understand how will you find the vector joining 2 points. So suppose that there are 2 points, 2 points A and B, and their position vectors are vector A and vector B. Now we want the vector joining 2 points A and B directed from A to B. I want this vector AB. So simply apply the addition law of vectors, that is triangle law. So here OA and AB they are taken in order, vector OA and vector AB. So by the triangle law of vector addition, the sum of these two vectors, vector OA plus AB, is this vector OB. Now I want this vector AB, so AB is transferring this, it becomes minus OA. So how you can express vector joining 2 points in terms of position vectors? So vector AB is vector OB minus vector OA. So if this is your B vector, you can write vector B minus vector A. So remember that any vector joining 2 points can be expressed in terms of position vectors. Suppose this is your PQ, then I can write in terms of position vectors, vector PQ is OQ minus OP. So remember this, again this is going to be used in the next two theorems. So these are all basic things I am giving you to understand my next two theorems. Now here is one more. If P is any vector which is parallel to the line L, then as we know that the coefficients of IJK, that is ABC, they stands for direction ratios of this vector. And if this is parallel to this, then they can also be the one set of direction ratios of this line. So if any line is parallel to another line, then the coefficients of IJK can be the direction ratios of the another line, to be noted.